Filmazon.com's Nikolai Adams here with Rod Blackhurst, director, producer of Here Alone.
That's me.
That's you. Okay.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
I've got the right person. That's a good sign.
You do.
So we're here at the St. Lawrence International Film Festival. First of all, thank you for being here because it was a great film and a great cause for this area. Let's start with the film.
Sure.
First of all, the thing that caught me is, I won't give away what happens in the film, but there's a moment that when you hear about people talk about the first time they sat in the theater to see Jaws, everyone just jumps out of their seat. There's one of those moments in the film. Did you know that was going to happen when you were filming it, or did that kind of catch you off guard as the audience took hold?
There's no way to know what people are going to do or how they're going to respond, but you of course hope when you're making a film that you're building something that does make people feel something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know exactly what that's going to be. I mean, for us, we wanted to build a sense of dread and a sense of despair, and we wanted to make people feel that. Those moments that are scary there were a couple of them designed to be in the film, and they were very economical, right? It only happens a couple times, but if it only happens a couple times, then those should feel like big moments. And so I hope that there are at least one or maybe two in the film that should push people to the back of their seats. But I hope even more so overall that the film kind of leaves you with this like punch in your gut and this like the bottom is dropped out. Because if we've been able to do that for 90 minutes, then we've affected you just as much as if we can scare you once in a huge way.
Now let's go in the opposite direction. There were a few times where some.
I'm going to stop you just because there's people coming through. But we can keep going,
of course.
But I want to give everyone the opportunity to come on by. Thank you. We're just doing a little interview. We're making video magic.
To
come on. You can.
Come on. To flip the other way.
Yeah.
Let's go. There were a few kind of awkward chuckles, and there was a little bit of comedy in it. How do you interlace that in such a serious, dark subject matter?
Well, life is a tragedy. I like to say, life is dark and brutal, but you have to have moments of levity, right? And especially in this world, so there are a couple moments that are designed to be awkward, and they should stand out because they should be in contrast to everything else that you were seeing. I think that some of those things you don't really know in the moment that how people are going to react to it, but you hope that your actors have brought you something that's maybe better than what you even knew they were going to give you, and then you find some of those things in the editing room, and you say, oh my gosh, that's going to work perfectly, and then hopefully people laugh a little bit, or have some sort of reaction to it.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the Adirondacks.
Sure.
A lot of people don't really know about it. It's a hidden gem.
How is that?
I know, it's a sad thing.
It's the largest state park in the United States.
So filming in that, what was that like? Again, out in the wilderness, short shoot, right? What was it, 14 or 16 days?
It was 16 days, making a movie in the woods, in the rain. Luckily it was in the summer. The black flies weren't that bad, so we got lucky there. But I think the thing about the Adirondacks is it is a place that is beautiful and vast, and people don't know that it exists. And in the same way that people might not know that the beauty of the Badlands in North Dakota. And so our hope is that we made a film in our backyard because it's the place we know and the place we love, and that hopefully somebody will watch this and say, oh my gosh, where is that? I need to go there.
Yeah.
We made another film before this that has a vista shot from Keene Valley above the Ausable Lake, or Ausable Lake, or I can't remember the exact name of the lake, but it's one of those iconic North Country landmarks or landscapes. And when people see it, they go, dude, that doesn't look real. It looks like you're in Lord of the Rings. And we say, no, that's in Keene Valley.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you where to go.
I'm there all the time.
Yeah, drive into the country club, park your car, walk in 3 miles, go up to Indian Head, and there you are,
So do you see that then as a clean slate, because it hasn't really been shot very often in film?
I think, making something in the woods or making something that's far away from what would be a metropolitan area is hard, both from a logistics standpoint and from a resources standpoint, but there's obviously, you see the films that really strike a chord with people, that have this epicness and this grandeur to them. People have gone to the ends of earth to find those places. I mean, Lord of the Rings is a perfectly good example. You go to every place in New Zealand that nobody else has been to, and then you have a film that looks that way for a reason. So maybe we could do that with the Adirondacks.
Yeah, I think well. Perfect. Now, what are you hoping? Obviously, the film's not in full wide release yet.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to achieve with this? What are you hoping audience will get out of it?
Well, the first thing we hoped for was that people would actually get a chance to see it.
Mhm.
So the fact that we have a release happening for it is a big step. Most films don't get to that point, so we're very fortunate that we made a film that somebody wants to help share with the world. I think for us too, we wanted to just prove that we could tell a story in a feature-length format, and knowing that like the film has its flaws, and you know, things we wish we could have done better. There's things we wish we could change. There's things we love about it, but that at the end of the day, the film proved that we had a great team that like respected each other and could work well together, but could also grow together. So I think the biggest thing would be is that people watch it just and take a chance on the genre, and that they find something else out about themselves or about people or about their own humanity in it, and they maybe question what would they do if the world came to an end and you were all alone and you were running out of food. What would you do? How would you operate? How would you think? How would you be? How would you treat someone? What would you stay? Would you go? Would you kill? Would you live? What would you do? And then put yourself into that scenario. I think you could take any fantastical setting, anything that's in a genre space or anything that's science fiction, and just put real people in it, and then put yourself in that position and say, what would I do? And you can find any great story that way, I think.
Now, how did the Tribeca Audience Award selection, did that help in kind of getting the word out there?
Of course, winning something like the Tribeca Audience Award validates you right to a certain sector of the industry that might not have paid attention to you before, either because you didn't have a track record, or but it's also validating to the genre. And I think what I loved about that is that they recognize that films like this and a genre like this is not a second-class citizen, that these films matter to people, and that that they have life to them. They aren't just about excess and violence and gore, that there are real people in these types of stories, and that to win an award like that at a major festival just shows that there are people out there who can come to appreciate something that is typically called a genre film.
And this very much was a human drama first and then a zombie picture after. That really was the background within the human drama.
Right, so the film is straddling these two worlds of like being an independent drama and a genre film, and like we're trying to ride the line so that we make both sets of people, audiences, happy, but also so that we could like make something that was trying to be unique and within the genre space.
Now let's hop to Night Swim.
Sure.
Little 4-minute kind of adrenaline rush horror ride. Maybe just give people, for those who haven't seen it, I'm sure it's quite a few people, give a little synopsis or what you think kind of people should take away, and why wouldn't they watch it for 3 minutes and 45 seconds? But
Night Swim was designed to be something that would almost take place before the title card of a film, like the setup for a film. Is like, and you could make any number of short films that way, like that set the space, the environment, the characters, the mystery, and then next comes the film. And so my filmmaker friends and I always have a bunch of those ideas in our back pocket of like, how do you lure people in, and then how do you pull the rug out from underneath them? And so Night Swim was designed to be something that was meant to leave people wanting more, even though we didn't really know what we would do after it, but we could set you up and then we could yank the rug out in a very elegant, elevated way without it being on the nose or expected. And I like that type of filmmaking. It's like suspense building, it's tension. You kind of know from the first frame of that film that something weird's going to happen, and you feel it, even if you don't know it, or even if it's not, a slasher ending or an expected ending. It's still like should pull the rug out from under your feet.
And the music played a big component in that because it was so reminiscent of The Shining. It's this creaky, eerie song, and it's
an old jazz standard from the 20s that we found that was just sets the tone.
Yeah.
It makes you feel something, right? But that's our job as filmmakers, is to find those pieces and those parts that make you feel something. The sound of the lapping water, the sound of the old radio playing, this like an old song on the AM dial.
Yeah. So now let's go to my favorite question. One of your favorite films.
Oh man. Can it be any film?
It can be any film. It can be foreign. It can be.
I love Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line.
Okay, yeah, good work movie.
And I love it because it's about the futility of this situation, and it's about man trying to understand the way of grace and the way of nature, and to try to understand what does life mean, and I know that I'm going to die, and it's this powerful examination of that, but in a way that makes you feel what those people must have felt like, and you're in their interior lives, and you're really, I don't know, it's just one of those films that continually washes over me and makes me really think about who I am and what makes me me, and then why do things happen the way that they do. And I think that's what you want from a film, is you want to be thinking about it long afterwards, and that film does it for me.
Have you ever seen Paths of Glory by Stanley Kubrick?
I've never seen Paths of Glory.
It's another war film that would probably leave you with the same feeling. You should check that one out.
Okay.
It's early Kubrick. It's like late 50s.
Okay.
But it's definitely reminiscent of your answer, which was a very good one.
Okay.
Thank you so much
I'll watch
for
it.
this.
Nikolai, right?
Nikolai, yes.
Nikolai. Okay.
Yes. Good Russian name. Good Russian name.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I was going to say grazie, but that's Italian, and I don't know why. But
Hey, I'll take Italian. I'll take anything.
Grazie mille. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.